Hey guys, hunting season is somewhat winding down here. We've got a couple more weeks, and then already starting to think about fishing, already thinking about some late winter opportunities. I'm doing a couple days of hunting in Alabama here coming up pretty soon. But wanted to make a video about three cheap, and I mean like really cheap knives that I think that every outdoorsman and really just everyone in general should own. And you see these three guys right here in front of you. I'd say total you should be able to get these three knives for about 30 bucks. Just super versatile, super useful knives for any outdoorsman. And I've got one bonus that I'm going to throw in here as well. But we'll start off here with everybody's favorite. This is a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. I don't know the exact model. I know they've got tons and tons of models. This one's pretty straightforward. All this one's got here is a standard blade, non-locking, and then I think it's got a bottle opener on here too. My preference is for one that's at least got a can opener as well as a smaller blade. I think I use a Tinker and a Spartan more than anything else. But this is just a super versatile little knife. A great little pocket knife. And the nice thing about a Victorinox is it's very inconspicuous. If you've got a large folder, you go to any kind of event or anything like that, it can look a little out of place or even a little aggressive, but no one cares about a Victorinox. Other thing that I think is huge on a Swiss Army knife that I use a ton is the toothpick. Somewhat, if I'm in a pinch and I've got my Swiss Army knife, the toothpick is somewhat useful, but I use the heck out of these little tweezers here. For that reason, I actually keep a Victorinox in my car because if I get a splinter, these are about the best little tweezers to get out a splinter aside from, you know, some nicer tweezers I've got, but like dollar store tweezers or something like that. Usually this is actually a better set of tweezers than that. So that's my number one on this list. Not in order, but that's the first item on this list of pocket knives or just knives in general that are cheap that everyone should own. I've got a little lanyard on it here too, as you can tell. I like orange pretty good. So that's number one. And this one's got some brand on it. I don't even know what the brand is. I picked it up cheap. This one stays in the car and does its job there. Like I said, I carry a Spartan that I got back in the day when I was in Boy Scouts, probably more than anything else. But that's number one. Number two is this guy right here, another winner by Victorinox. This is the Victorinox paring knife. This is the 4-inch model. I think they make it in a 3-inch model as well. Just an awesome knife. So, of course, it's a great kitchen knife. My wife uses 5 or 6 of these from everything from light cutting to peeling and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much everyone in my family I've given these as Christmas gifts to absolutely loves them. But it is an unsung hero as an awesome skinning knife and a great bird and trout knife. So the blade's small. It is somewhat flexible. So it's pretty good for like light boning work. I wish I had a little bit more belly on it for like true skinning use. But if all you're trying to do is, you know, gut a deer or something like that, these work great and they're super cheap. I'd say, again, under $10. But just a very useful little knife. The one con about this Victorinox paring knife is they don't come with a sheath. I make one out of duct tape and cardboard more often than not. Of course, you can find some stuff on Etsy for cheap little sheaths for them, but just a very useful little knife and very, very lightweight as well. If I'm doing something backpacking wise where I want a little more knife than like a little pocket knife and I want a little bit less knife than my Argali skinning knife. So, you know, something where I may do a little bit of like backcountry stuff, but I'm not hunting in particular. This is my go-to, but I would have no qualms taking this on a hunting trip as well. Just a great knife, super versatile, and it's cheap enough. I don't care to lend one to a buddy or anything like that. So just a great little knife. Get like 5 of these. Get like 5 of these things. Put 3 in your kitchen. Your wife will thank you. And put 1 in your car and then keep 1 with you. They're super, super useful. While I'm on this topic, Victorinox's kitchen knives in general are awesome knives. That's pretty much everything we have. They're cheaper than most of your like cheap junk knives, but they're better than a lot of your higher end knives. So really happy with all of my Victorinox stuff. I use their like boning knives and skinning knives in my deer processing kit. And then the third item I've got here is everyone's favorite, the Mora. I believe this here is a 511. This is the new 511. I've got an old actually I think this is like a 540 something. This is basically the 511, but it's in stainless steel. I don't remember what they call the models. This is the new 511, I believe. But just another great knife. It is a Scandi grind, which takes a little bit of extra effort to maintain that grind, but you can always put a micro bevel on it, which is what I do. Again, very useful for skinning, any kind of bushcraft, stuff like that. Just a great knife. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on these knives because you can find that elsewhere here on YouTube. But great little knife. As you can probably tell from all these knives, I use this stuff, so there is some rust. But the nice thing about cheap knives is you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to baby it. And I find a lot of times that the cheap stuff I'm willing to use hard, I end up liking and using a lot better than my nice stuff that I'm scared to mess up. Other nice thing about these is they do come with a pretty decent sheath. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's got a belt clip on it. Just very useful. I keep a Mora in every vehicle I own. Just another super great knife. These are also 3 great knives to start your kids with. Of course, they're all sharp. They're all good knives. But, you know, very kid-friendly, very safe, you know, as safe as a knife can be. Especially this Mora here has got this big choil on it that's going to protect your child's fingers. So just 3 great knives there. Last and not least is my bonus here, and that is a Fiskars Axe. I love these. So I've got a Wetterlings, back when Wetterlings was still around, that I use some. But I've come to love this Fiskars X15. I use their Splitting Axe as well. These I think you can pick up 40, 50, 60 bucks, maybe cheaper if you look around. They make some smaller hatchet size stuff too. This one rides in my GX. I've had 2 or 3 times now that I've been on fishing trips that I've gotten stuck because I've had trees fall behind me when I was either fall behind me or I was trying to get somewhere and there was a tree down the road. And so for that reason, I've started keeping one of these, and it saved the day a couple times. Again, very inexpensive, very useful. It comes in orange, which is super important because you know I love orange. But just another very useful tool, great tool to have. And you can probably get this entire set you see here for $100, and that's going to cover 99% of all your cutting needs. Just great stuff. I love them.